The last couple years have been tough. If you're a Star Wars fan, they've been tough. Let's be fair. The Last Jedi and Solo and a lot of the online fighting that has come as a result of that has been very tough to navigate. Been very draining on the soul, especially if you happen to be, again, a Star Wars fan. But like I've been saying for the past couple days, if you are a Star Wars fan, now is a great time. Not only is Resistance in its second and final season, and it's a good show with a good story, you've got The Mandalorian, which just came out, which has been blowing everybody away. Jedi Fallen Order comes out tomorrow night, and another episode of Mandalorian drops on Friday as well. It's a good week. It's a great week to be a Star Wars fan, and people out there who've been watching The Mandalorian have been singing its praises, myself included. I've already watched the pilot episode 3 times, and I just keep wanting to watch it because it's just that good. So the question then becomes, what about the future? Well, we know that season 2 is already being filmed. That's already in production. That was greenlit a while ago. These 8-episode seasons are getting somewhere in the neighborhood of about $100 million budget, which makes sense because this is Star Wars and Disney ain't messing around. But apparently, the popularity and the response to Mandalorian, which I do believe Disney and Lucasfilm and Favreau and Filoni and Kathy Kennedy, that they all knew was going to happen when they realized the product that they had, we're finding out a little bit more information. So according to Disney's co-chair, the Mandalorian movie could happen. That's right. Just one day after the launch of Disney Plus and the debut episode of The Mandalorian, Disney Chief Creative Officer and co-chairman Alan Horn is already talking about the possibility of a Mandalorian movie. So it says here that The Mandalorian is already proving to be a big thing. So if that series proves to be so compelling that we reverse engineer it into a theatrical release, a 2-hour film or whatever, okay. And that's not small news, because keep in mind that we don't have anything for 2022 with the exit of Dan and Dave from Game of Thrones, them going over to Netflix, leaving Star Wars behind. We have nothing for winter 2022 when the next Star Wars movie is supposed to hit. So could it potentially be a Mandalorian film at that point in time? I have no freaking idea, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for them to kick off a Mandalorian trilogy or something along those lines, because the show will have already by 2022 been going into its 4th season, if it survives that long, and it may or may not. It all depends on the stories that Favreau and Filoni want to tell and whether or not it proves to be commercially viable. But given the fact that Disney Plus had estimated 8 million signups by the end of this year, and they had 10 million come in yesterday, it is clear to see that a lot of people are very happy with the content provided on Disney Plus, and a lot of Star Wars fans are super happy and super excited about The Mandalorian. Just take a look here at the Rotten Tomatoes page. Again, take with a grain of salt. It's entirely up to you, but it says the average tomato meter, the critical score is 87%, and the average audience score is 94%. Now, it doesn't give us how many reviews or how many audience scores, but that is still something to take into account. People who have been longing for Star Wars to return to form, for Star Wars to be something that felt like it came from the mind of George Lucas or from the era of George Lucas, have now got that with The Mandalorian. And so obviously the future is going to be big. The future is going to be great. The future is going to be bright and shiny and awesome and amazing. But a movie is such a fascinating idea. Again, go back and look at the budgets for this thing, right? Disney's anticipating, or what we've heard is that there's $100 million budget for the 8 episodes. So that's over $8 million, or that's over $10 million an episode. So that's a lot of money that they put into that. That's more than Game of Thrones. And if you look at the sets in The Mandalorian, a lot of it's digital. So a lot of the work is coming in from like ILM. So that's how they're creating it. Never mind the practical effects and all the visual stuff and everything else. But if they want to start making lots of money, it's going to be in the movies. Could you imagine a Mandalorian movie coming out that actually grosses $1 billion and some change? I could. After watching that first episode, a lot of people are kind of begging for it. Give it the big budget treatment for a big budget movie, even though it's already basically a big budget movie. Has one of the highest budgets, if not the highest budget of a television show to ever come to cable television or come to streaming or to come to whatever. It is insanely expensive to make. And they would want to get a massive return on that outside of just Disney Plus subscriptions. So yeah, if they're already saying that a potential movie is coming down the horizon, that means they've already talked about it. it. They looked at the response to it. They looked at at what people are saying. They're going like, wait a minute, this is not The Last Jedi or Solo or even some of the online chatter leading up to The Rise of Skywalker. This is something major, something massive, something insane. And they're going to definitely, well, Disney's going to Disney. Let's just be realistic on that front. Disney is going to sit there and do what Disney does best, and that's attempt to make money. But if you give us a Jon Favreau directed Mandalorian movie or kicking off a Mandalorian series that ties into the show itself, people will go see it. People will spend a lot of money on it. You have that ending from the first episode, and people are already like on Amazon going like, where do I buy that toy? Where do I get that merch? People are already making fan-made I Have Spoken Kuil shirts, right? They're already putting those out there on Amazon. People to buy the I Have Spoken because that's now a new meme. People love the memes and they want to play it up. So yeah, they've got something massive and major and amazing on their hands. So they're going to do what every company in that position would do, specifically Disney. They're going to find a way to market the hell out of it and probably run it into the ground. But we could get a couple good years out of this. I mean, imagine if they give us 5 seasons or so of the show and then they finish it with a movie. That to me seems to make the most amount of sense, because X-Files, or they could pull the X-Files approach where they had, I think it was 7 seasons and then the movie and then a couple more seasons and then the show ended and then another movie down the road. But I think Disney, looking at the last couple years and where they've kind of been in regards to The Last Jedi and Solo and The Rise of Skywalker, are not going to want to squander this opportunity of goodwill and good faith, that the fans are kind of coming back into it. Even critical ones of Disney Star Wars have been watching Mandalorian and saying, yeah, that was great. I loved it. They're not going to want to squander that. So expect there to be an announcement of a movie coming sometime down the pipeline. I would assume probably sooner rather than later. And I would think that they might actually do it before 2022, if not make The Mandalorian the 2022 film and then give us a new trilogy the year after that. I think that if Kathy Kennedy is smart, that would be what she greenlights to order to go to cinemas in 2022 as a way to maybe finish up the 4th season, give us a movie or something along those lines. I don't know. Look, I'm just speculating out the ass, but that's what I do here. I like to talk and speculate and dream and hope and get hyped up and excited. So if you guys want to see this movie, let me know down in the comment section. Go ahead and type Mando so I know you made it. Leave your thoughts, leave your opinions. Definitely thumbs up the video. Smash that like you want to smash more episodes of Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a fantastic day and peace out. This video is supported by patrons like you. If you'd like to become a patron, please head over to patreon.com/Matt Jarbo.